Welcome to Allegedly Higher, where humor, insight, and passion collide with higher education. Hosted by Dr. Erin and Dr. Candice. Join them as they dive into headlines, interview leaders, and challenge norms. From dismantling systems to championing equity, this podcast is your go-to for transforming the ivory tower. Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to Allegedly Higher. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back if you are a repeat customer, listener. And if you are new listening to this, thank you and welcome. We hope that you enjoy it, and we hope that you're going to be a repeat listener as well and tell your friends. I am your host, Dr. Erin Wheeler, and this is my lovely co-host, Dr. Candice Jackson.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yes, so just a fair warning, we are a little bit loopy. We're tired.
We're exhausted. Tired is not the word. We're exhausted.
We've been fighting to make our way to this podcast and get you some news. This is going to be more of the allegedly, less the higher. It's probably going to be a preview.
Yes.
So this is probably going to be a preview for one of our offshoot content. Definitely lower, very opposite of what we intended to do on this podcast. So yes, buckle up because this is going to be an all pop culture. All pop. We're intellectuals. We can probably tie it back into higher ed some kind of way if you want to. But this is going to be our intellectual debate on all pop culture. So we're going to take our first. I
love that you added the intellectual to make this out. Yes, but okay, I love that.
I'll be trying. Look, I'll be trying.
I'll do my best.
So yes, as we normally say, we dissect issues in higher education through a human-centered lens with a pop culture flair. It's more going to be on the human-centered lens and pop culture, less the flair, but all of it, whatever's opposite of flair. So, yes. So, where have we been? What have we done? It's just been, but it's been a good just been. We've been, yeah.
I think my the next couple of weeks for me is going to be a little taxing and rough, but I guess it's kind of like getting back into the full swing of the everyday of, for me, teaching, coordinating, doing these things. I have, several things going on, both at work and at the other work, and it's just been
and the other work.
And the other work, right? So, because this feels like I've been working forever. But I have, and some people say, well, why do you have all these things? Well, that's what life is, I suppose. So.
Yeah. I have been, I've been doing a lot of executive coaching, which I love.
Yeah.
It's always fun when you get to do what you love and do more of it. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing some executive coaching with some great ladies of color, women of color in nonprofit world. And so that's been filling up my time. And then on the other half of my brain, I don't know which half is half. Leadership development is left or higher ed is right. I don't know which one is which. But the other half of me has been deep into researching and really getting ready to put my books back out there. We've talked about that in a couple.
Do you have a copy this time?
It's over there. I found it. It's on my bookshelf. Right in front of me. Yeah, right. If I had a back-facing camera, I may be able to turn it. I do have a large poster as well that's on the back side of the camera. None of it is doing me any good over there. So maybe one episode, it may be.
Right, you'll have it.
And I may even have a good read-in commercial.
Okay. And I think that's important. I can't say enough to you about that first year experience, that book that you have, Go Wiser. I can't. And if I'd had Live Wiser, it would have been totally the trajectory.
For me too. I still read.
The quintessential encourage yourself, right? And I have a few students now who are going through and I need to get a copy. Because I don't want to give them my copy. I need to get a new copy. Who are going through this sort of post-grad blues, like where am I going? And I think, what am I thinking about? And should I drop out and just go to work? And trying to figure out how to become. And I think this, I'm excited for you. And speaking of books, I'm actually re-editing my first novel. So I forgot to say that. So I'm in the midst of that. I should be working on an article that's past due, but I'm working on that too. So
I mean, the book sounds more fun.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
But yeah, I've been researching because I want to allegedly hire, right?
Right.
This is my platform to air my grievances. You got to come with some theory in order to back up what you've done and seen already. So I'm trying to find the right theory to couch what I've been saying and bring it to where I can, slide in that intellectual, but then hit them with like, this is what you got to do. And this is why we haven't done it. So
hit them with this is why this damn theory doesn't work. And let me tell you, because when you get in the trenches, you can talk about the theory all day long, but in the trenches of a thing,
it's the leadership. It's the leadership in getting it done. It's the everyday. It's the everyday fight of getting it done, and that's what I'm super passionate about. Is that leadership in higher ed to make student success things actually happen, and not the numbers part. Except the numbers that count, the retention, the graduation. So yeah, I've been submitting some conference proposals. I actually got one accepted.
Great.
So I'm talking about social capital and helping to build first generation social and cultural capital as a way to increase their retention and persistence.
Good deal.
I'm really excited about that. Waiting to hear some other things, some other conference proposals back. But yeah, if you're doing the whole fall conference circuit, I might be coming to a conference near you, particularly in New Orleans, because we self-fund and travel.
Who doesn't? Even when you have a university position, you still have to get reimbursed. The problem is you have to have funds to be reimbursed.
Yes. So yes, if you're attending, let us know if you're going to be in NASPA. I think is
you're doing NASPA. Okay.
I think NASPA's in New Orleans. I know First Year Experience is in New Orleans. Maybe we can do like a little meet and greet. We'll see what that looks like. But yeah, allegedly higher could be coming to a higher ed conference near you or near us.
I love it.
Oh Lord. Well, you ready to hop into these topics? We feel like we've been gone a while. It hasn't been that long.
It hasn't been that long, but the way something has been happening every day.
Every minute.
Every day.
Just like I think yesterday it was like, yay, the courts overturned the Supreme Court the thing that's stopping the student loans from going through. And then I woke up this morning and say, no, somebody else sued again. Like hour by hour.
Right. Yeah.
So to kick off, I feel like this is going to be a permanent one until we get sick of it.
Yeah.
This is our OJ, I don't know what else, other thing we were like glued to the television screens more than OJ, like coming home to watch the trial. Yeah, Diddy. That's it. That's the section. That's
the tweet. Diddy.
Yes, Diddy. So far, since September 16th, Diddy was arrested. He knew he was going to be arrested. He set himself in New York and saying, take me.
Take that. Okay.
Yeah, take me. Because I think he just knew he was not going to he wasn't going to put a toe in jail. He thought his bail claim was going to work. He had started paying down some bills, He paid
off the house in Miami.
Yep. Took out, gave, even the baby don't have no passport no more. He surrendered everybody passport, the mama, the kid, and the baby. Can't nobody go nowhere. And no, he was denied. I think he's still trying to get out on bail. I think every day
he's
trying to
appeal. So when he was denied bail, he appealed and put the house up at that point. It offered a bail package of $50 million that would include $48 million on his house in Miami plus $2 million on his mama's house. And then of course all the passport things and a different judge, and they were like, no.
The crazy thing is the second judge that he went to try to gain favor, he will be the judge on the trial. So they already know we can't play with this man.
Don't play. Oh, and also Diddy said, I won't contact any women. I promise. Y'all come to the front. Come to the front. Diddy. I don't think that's who.
No, it's not going to count, sir. No.
It's not going to help. Not going to help.
No.
Okay.
No. So he's officially charged with racketeering and conspiracy. I actually I don't follow a whole lot. Like, I may seem very informative, but it takes me some time to be loyal to some people. So when I know I can trust you, I'm going to do it. The Breakfast Club. Shout out to Lauren LaRosa. She's been killing great work there. And there's this other guy that I'm starting to follow. Because my other favorite, he's the favorite of my favorite. So
okay.
He actually read through the indictment, and I guess I had some time that day. And I heard him reading through the indictment, the actual indictment, and scary. Like, everybody's talking about $1,000 bottles of baby oil, right?
Yes.
But nobody is talking about the guns that's got serial numbers scratched out,
right?
Or other like things that they found in a house.
Well, the 740 sex toys.
Not that either.
Nobody. Listen, let me explain something to you. When they do a raid, they have to identify and describe items seized in the raid.
Poor entry level. I just came from Quantico. Poor entry level tech person who had to do that. Who had to be like, yo, you. Oh, we've been watching too many crime shows.
I know, right?
Over there, catalog this.
They took a picture in front of them. So here's the thing. And you got one guy who's trying not to laugh, and you got the other one that's going. I mean, so with the guns, the racketeering, all of the things in this indictment. I mean, and we're talking. I'm hearing that there's victim as young as 9, and it may not be. That may be that victim who's listed at 9 may be the start. I'm not sure, because they may be adults now.
Yeah.
And that may be when the abuse started. And so people are trying to go back and figure it out. Videos are being analyzed differently. Interviews are being analyzed differently. These things really have, in some small way, already been out there.
Yeah, because our culture was different. We accepted it. It was a thing to be at the party. Now I'm very down the middle. There's two sides to every story. The truth is somewhere in the middle. I'm not saying all accusers are right, and I'm not saying all accusers are lying. Like, there's a truth in the middle. There's a truth that you could have been invited to a Diddy party, and that was it, right? White party, above ground, but the rule was you leave at 2 a.m.
Right. And there's a video with him making the announcement.
Yeah.
All right, kids, regular people, y'all leave. It's about to get real messed up around here, so you gotta go.
So so for everybody say, oh yeah, everybody's at a Diddy party and everybody trying to tie different people to it.
Right.
That's not right. But
I think here's what I want people to understand. Whatever happens in the freak offs, as they call them, between consenting adults, that's their business. People go, there are legitimate sex clubs, there are legitimate, all of those things. That is their business. That is not now, that's not what he's being charged with. Having orgies and freak offs are not what he's being charged with.
I need you to say that louder to Bootsy, the fat face online.
That he is not being charged with having orgies and freak offs, right?
This is not like say. I need that for all the men or even women. Listen, this is not. He's not being charged for this.
No,
he is being charged for sex trafficking, for bringing in people who he doesn't know have been sex trafficked, because he was like, oh well, we used not an agency. That's putting the liability on the agency, but nobody checked to see if these young women, young men are working for the agency under their full consent. That is what he's being trafficked. He's been charged with.
And so here's the thing. I want that to be very clear. Whether or not he's not being charged for having freak offs and orgies, sex. He's not even charged with with any exorbitant amount of baby oil. That's not part of the indictment. He can have as much baby oil as he wants to. He could fill up a tub of baby oil if he wants.
They're not even trying him for the drugs.
If it's straight baby oil, right? That's not what he's being charged with, and that's not what we should be, vilifying him for. If these are consenting adults, it is the trafficking of women and men across state lines. Now, that has history in the Mann Act with that they created for boxer Jack Johnson. Because he was with he brought a prostitute across state line, or which is really his wife or girlfriend who was white, and so they created this act to try to get him put in jail and all of the things.
Intellectual. This is the
intellectual part, but again, I can't impress your sexual behaviors, your sexual orientations. Your life is not fodder is not illegal. That's how he wants to live. Now, if they can prove that he knowingly trafficked, that he knowingly sold, now that gun, it might be a problem, right?
But that's what I'm saying. The guns and the drugs, right? And not even touching that, because they're probably going to tack on some more charges as he or others open their mouth. They're not even adding that to the fact that they're like, people could be not under, like, they're not in the right minds with the amount of drugs that he had there and how they got in their body. Like, all of those are the details that's going to continue to like pin him down.
Now, we'll say this, that what is being revealed in all of this are some of the ways in which Hollywood and the entertainment industry operates in the way that it operates. And that, of course, may be unethical, yet legal, and yet but it's being revealed.
Yeah. Just because something is the norm doesn't mean it's ethical or legal. But this is, I think, is blowing a roof off of the poor 90s. The 90s have been,
I mean, you're decimating my young adulthood at this point.
All of my teen years are just demolished.
So you've got a lot of music execs that resigned from their positions like shortly thereafter. I think y'all could have staggered that a bit. And some things are going. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Diddy gonna snitch.
You think so?
Listen. In the words of the late great Bernie Mac, I'd have called you, but the line would be, he's not gonna do all that time by himself.
Is he gonna snitch and be truthful? Because what we did not add to our list, it's been so much that happened.
Yeah.
Shine. Did you hear Shine actually, like, it's not new, but I think people are now picking it up. He's like, he was like, I had to forgive him and move on.
Right.
Yes, you saw me in previous years shake hands with him because he did something for my country, and I had to make that for the kids in the country.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't talk to him. I don't say nothing to him. And I've always said that it was not me, and he lied on me. He tricked me and he lied on me. He took advantage of a foreign teen, because he was 18, 19 at the time?
18 or 19. Mm-hmm.
He told me he was going to have my back, but then he ended up testifying against me and lying on me, which he took away, a decade or so of his life.
Yeah. And the fact that he's able to, and it was deported once he did his time. And
yeah, that's probably the best thing that happened to him.
And I think and I think it probably in a lot of ways saved his life, even though as ugly as it is, you have to find some kind, because he is a true redemption story in that way. I think Mace saved his life by leaving Bad Boy. I think
Mace saw some things.
Yeah. And some, I remember that we had a student who had done some time and came back to that place and wanted to get in. Remember, we were trying to get him in and all of those things. And I looked at him, and he was trying to get back in school, and realized in that moment that he saw something in those 8 months in jail that no young man should ever see or have to fight for or experience. And it was almost like this imperative. Okay, we got to save this one, right?
Yeah.
So they see these things. They're young kids. They think they're grown until they really get in there and they realize, no, that we're not. I'm not this adult to be here, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to live like this. I don't want to have this experience. I do caution those who are trying to make a quick buck off of the firestorm of it all. But now here's the other part. Now, if some people were truly abused and other people knew it, then they need to be reckoned with as well.
Yeah.
And that to me is paramount. Like you need to be reckoned with as well.
Yeah.
But we have to take
all the truly abused are going to say anything.
He's going to snitch. That's
the end of the story. We waiting on it. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on this the solitary confinement and other stuff to make him snitch, because I think Diddy, with all of his needs stripped away. Well, it's only so much you can be around
people. Yeah. So it is really psychological warfare to put him in solitary confinement. The fact that he has to have all the parties and to have people around him and to be the main character in every scenario is really, he's going to lose it, and he's going to snitch. So everybody he's not going to do that time by himself.
Yeah.
He's not. I do, things like, so all the money and the good that he did, even in the show, right? He gave some HBCU some money, one HBCU in particular, hadn't said a word about giving that money back. The other one has given the money back and taken away the honorary degree that they've given him. When we make decisions like that, when in light of these kind of controversies, Spelman gave back the $20 million from Camille. It was Camille's money. Camille is also an educator and really also a victim even of her husband's infidelities and his behavior why not shift those funds into, and Howard has given back the $1 million, shift those funds into abuse centers, counseling centers for both men and women, not necessarily in their trauma, but also in their in their abuse, like when they're abusing. And so do something positive with those funds that can help, because he's been doing this, of course, according to some interviews. He's been hitting women when the Cassie video came out since he was at Howard. You all knew this. No one did anything. But there are several men out there who don't understand, who have that kind of aggression, who are abusers, and whatever their trauma is, and we can stop it then.
Yeah.
Place of love and embrace them to be better, as opposed to them getting out in the world. So I think we need to rethink about how we do those kinds of, let's get the money back and distance ourselves. Let's embrace the fact that we have this money. He gave it to us and we're going to use it for good, as opposed to giving it back to him for his legal. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, just going back to the bail, I mean, he might be losing some tax liability, you know. What did it surprise you that Diddy Kane's member, Louisiana native Dawn Richard, she sued him?
No. I think she was when she does it, I think she has been living in, I'm not going to hurt yet another Black man. And I think at this point, because Ariel Days already said she don't fool with, right?
Yeah.
The others have gotten quiet. But for Dawn to do it, because she was the one that was in the other group with him. She talks about a moment where they bristled up at each other at one point in an interview. But for her to do it, I think she's had enough.
What do you make of Kalina? Because that's one of the albums that I didn't want to put back on the shelf. I love Last Train to Paris. Like,
I know, right?
Kalina, she didn't get her due for writing. She's an excellent writer. I think, I don't know what happened to her solo career or whatever. What do you make of Kalina? So they're both in this group together. I think Dawn's allegation was not making the band. It was the Last Train to Paris. And they talk about making this. They were literally in Paris for like, I don't know, months, held up like in a makeshift recording studio, like just writing and churning out songs, right?
Yeah.
What do you make of Kalina just saying, I ain't in it. Don't include me in it. She's been saying this stuff. She's been saying, skirting that line of, this is not my reality. This is not my reality.
And it may not have been. Now, I will tell you this: an abuser also knows who to play with and who not to play with.
True. Kalina was married at the time.
Married and also very openly bisexual.
Yeah.
So.
And see that I'm so glad you brought. I could not go back and find, because she was on Love and Hip Hop for a minute.
She was, and
so they would. Every time I say orgies, you know where my mind goes.
They had not a throuple, but she was given like hall passes and
very open, very open.
And so also in that way, I think Puff was like, no, I think slightly scary, a little bit,
maybe scary, but I feel like they didn't see anything wrong with his lifestyle, right? And could have possibly.
Again, it's not him being bisexual, him having freak offs and orgies and all that. That's not illegal. He can live his life. It is he can do, just like she's bisexual, he's bisexual. Like, I'm sorry, allegedly bisexual. She's openly bisexual. I have to say allegedly. Because it has not been, he hasn't. I don't want to, out him. Like, I know his life. But that's not illegal.
It's not, but it's very telling when he got. So Dawn must have filed a lawsuit September, like 14th. 13th, 14th, he got arrested on the 16th. His phone somewhere in there was confiscated. He called Kalina like over 100 times.
So and so he's also
after John filed a lawsuit.
He's also not going to. That's another reason he's not getting bail, because he has called somebody like 100 times.
Exactly. He did it to he did it to himself.
He did it to himself.
So yeah, another lady in Diddy's life, Young Miami, is also implicated in telling a Diddy accuser to get an abortion. So this is not a long time ago.
Girl, sit, please. Just please go sit down, because she's too young. You listen, he is damn near 60, okay? Damn near 60. She's what? How old is she? 12?
No.
I'm being facetious.
27.
Same difference.
12 times 2-ish.
When you almost have 100, baby,
everything is 12.
Say 12. Everything. Yes, because she doesn't. She, and that little pitiful interview she did, like, girl, sit down and let the grown folk handle this.
I really had hope that she was gonna scam him. When she got with him, I was like, maybe this is the girl who gonna scam him. Maybe. I just had it like, take it, get the money, get the show, do whatever you need to. But she even said that it's not. She thought it was gonna be like a 20-minute tap out.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
My girl got wore out.
No.
Allegedly, she said it with her own mouth. She said it in an interview with the both of them.
That boy's so hot. Like, it's not like he got a 9 to 5 every day working for the man. Like, he got all the strength of.
Plus some enhancement drugs.
Listen, girl, go sit down and stop. Let this man.
You thought going off the grid was just a little cute thing, a getaway? No, ma'am. She learned her lesson.
Safe to do. Find you something safe to do, young man. Find you something safe to do.
Yeah, you and Sophie just keep going out to eat and doing funny IG lives, because that life not for you.
When you hear grown folk talking, and it was a quote from the Mac. When you hear grown folk talking, but you better shut up. We just put out.
Yeah,
you don't have the finesse. You do not have the maturity to stomp in these kind of water. We're not talking about going to county, baby. We're not talking about county. And when you start messing with a federal case, again, we're not talking about the county. We're not talking about going to your neighborhood bail bondsman and getting him out. This is, leave this alone. Leave these women alone. Be glad you got out without a baby. Be done. Go on, make up with the girls, and go on get back to work. Go on get back to work.
Playtime is over, sis.
You got love bombed. You were still in the midst of love bombing. He had not turned on you yet.
I think he still could have been doing it, but I think he knew all along that this was happening. So if you follow the whole transition from Puffy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, Sean Combs to Brother Love, this is his whole brand thing, giving the 2 cents back that's now what all the royalties are worth from all of his artists he scammed over the years. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm giving it back, sir. You trying to reduce your assets.
That's it.
You're not doing this. The new baby, Carisha, Love Combs, all of that was to help curb whatever was coming. Mm-hmm. Because he knew that the demons was about to come out the closet. They was
Cat, come to the front. Cat, come to the front. Close the portal. It's enough now. Close the portal. I don't know what the next 3 months are going to bring, but I want Cat Williams to close the portal. Whenever he opened on January 2nd, close the before.
He said it was clairvoyant.
He did. And I put that with, I have always said that Cat Williams is one of the most intelligent comics and people on the planet, right? Powers of observation, the way he can turn a phrase, and I love to study Black comedy. My new favorite stand-up comedian right now, shout out to him, Josh Johnson. It's like the boy never goes home. He's always on my TikTok doing stand-up. I love him. But anyway, he said it on January 2nd because he could not get to us on the 1st, 2024. All liars and lies will be exposed. And he's also clairvoyant. So either you saw it, he says he's clever, but he said that part in a very muted conversation with Larry King, and it was so eye-opening.
Yeah.
He talked about the Haiti mission with Larry King differently in a way with Shannon Sharp, but he clearly have, when a genius is trying to explain it, not to mere mortals, it just, you can see the difference, right? It just totally different. I just need Cat to close the port. I think you done whooshed and you got enough people gone. You keep taking folk. Listen, close the portal, Cat. I don't know what the next 3 months are gonna bring, but baby, I just.
And our last Diddy story. Kim Porter, Amazon has now removed a best-selling book, 59 pages, all 59 pages of it, all from a site that advertised a memoir of Kim Porter, the model and actor who previously dated Sean Combs and died in 2018. It was titled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. We knew this was not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's 59 pages. And if you're not familiar, the author, who I don't even have his name here, and shouldn't even be given no clout, said that he received a thumb drive. He won't release the name of who he got it from, but he had no doubt that it was not real. How you can publish? I mean, without publishers, right? I'm not blocking it. Amazon made a way for us to publish our own books that we wrote with our own hands.
Right.
But for it to go to number one,
there are people reading it on TikTok Live, they're reading it out loud to the people.
Does it sound like it's in it? Does it even sound coherent in English?
It does, actually. What bothers me is that, again, the portal, the resident couch blogger, Jaguar Wright, said that she was writing and said these things. So I think that lent credence to whoever published it in the way that, she's telling things. But I didn't listen to the whole live. I'm not listening to all of that. I think it was in poor taste, particularly if her children, we don't know what the outcome is. I don't know. But Amazon does not vet whether you have Amazon KDP does not vet whether or not you have written it or somebody else, or they don't vet that. So their liability is done. But I'm thinking about ethical, the ethics of just taking a jump drive and putting out something so salacious in how she's talking about her life and Diddy and, those kinds of things. And being hit. Some of that stuff didn't sound too off the mark.
We may never know.
Now, unless somebody gets the original document and look at some of the properties, so a lot of people don't know. You can find out the properties.
I'm more apt to believe that Cassie has the phones that they said and the other jump drives. I feel like Cassie has that, and that's part of the federal indictment.
Yeah.
I'm more apt to believe that than it's going to some random person, right?
But I think that may be why they're not, whoever that is, we don't know where he got the jump drive from that he says he got.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things it'll all come out, as the old folks say, if it don't come out in the wash, it'll come out in the rinse. I don't know yet.
But why him though? There's so many other notable. Why they didn't go to Teray or even I don't want to. I mean Superhead, but she go by Elizabeth Overson. She's an author and a writer.
Listen.
Why not a blogger? Why not? Well, why him? We don't even know him. Why not CNN? Why not any other writer? Why him?
I'm gonna say this, and I get that point. I get that. You're absolutely right. Teray would have been a perfect one to do this. But when you don't know who in the industry is going to, the way these dominoes are falling, somebody might have been too afraid to give it to somebody within the industry that we know.
People who have written credibly. I forgot what I saw. I did see a Teray piece where he ran down a couple of things since all of this is happening.
And he talked about how he sent a cousin over there to do an internship.
Yeah.
And Puff proposition the young boy.
He could even given it to Aubrey O'Day. I'm just saying, anybody else who
then it's random. I get it. Now we'll go aside. Listen, and I'm looking at that kind of stuff, and I'm going, Stephens is now who now? Say what now?
We don't know her real name. Corinne Stephens is not her real name.
Okay.
We don't know her real name. Now she's going by Elizabeth Overson. And might I add, it's the 20-year anniversary of her book. And she said she left a lot of stuff out. And I, for one, who read the first book, will definitely be buying.
Well, this one should
be never lied. I feel like she's never lied. That's one person I feel like she's never lied.
Listen, this time, as long as she leave Method Man alone. He and his wife doing fine. Leave them alone now. Leave him alone now. Don't say nothing else about Method Man. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You pick you some new people, but leave that one right there. Leave that one alone.
No, I think it's still gonna be old people. I don't know if she's leaving, but I think there's more.
They've been through enough with you. Leave that alone now. Old folks say, "Now, Lee, you leave that on alone."
She was the first person that said she saw Puff Daddy running out of party after some stuff had happened. She was the first one years ago. Wendy
Williams should be vindicated. He got her way out of New York City.
I need her to get her mind straight.
Bev Smith from DC BT. There was early rumors he had her taken off the air. Great show. In the early days of BET. I want, it's one of these things, like, say the names of the people whose careers he has destroyed or tried to destroy.
Tried.
Right? Because of rumors about his sexuality, which clearly are true. So if it were me, statute of limitations or not, y'all, I would still sue. If I were Wendy Williams, I'd still sue.
Yeah.
You had me run out of New York and I had to build my finances back up. You had me, Bev Smith, you had my show taken off the air. Like they did a rumor show on a Sunday and she was gone by the next week. You can't do that with the truth. And they didn't have the money, the power, or the backing to do it. And so all of this is going to dismantle the entertainment industry in such a way that I don't think we've ever seen it quite like this.
Yeah, I think it was right for it. I think the Me Too movement, it just start chiseling away, and it was very right for it. All right, enough about P. Diddy, because we're gonna have time. I'm going to read this headline and then I'm going to yield the floor to my co-host for her commentary, because this leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. And let me give a caveat.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I do like older men. There are some older men 50 and over that I feel between my wisdom, my, I do come across as a little bit older, maybe look a little bit younger. I could potentially see they still got potential, right? This gentleman, Mr. Sharp, does not like. And for me, it's all about all the conversation and little things he said over the years that has banned him from that. He's never made it to the list. He's not.
Went to the list.
I don't want to hear anything. There's no imagination there. It makes me sick. So I'm going to read it and I'm going to yield it.
Okay.
After initially claiming he was hacked, Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp admitted Wednesday that he inadvertently live streamed audio of him having sex to roughly 32 million followers on Instagram. So since this has happened, he's apologized profusely, talked about it with his co-host on his podcast. I forgot what the name of it is. It's with Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
But after he apologized profusely, he started making merchandise, which I was like, that neutralized that whole apology for me. So now we're back at square one. -1 for me. But Dr. Jackson, resident romance writer.
Yes. So it was the reason I am laughing just almost hysterically is because we talked about this. You're like, ew. Okay, so when they came out and said he was hacked, his assistant quickly, when he tells the story, he quickly gets on and says, I was hacked. Let me shut this down, right? That's why you only get a minute or so of the audio. And so then he finally comes out. At least he doesn't wait. And he says, listen, my boy tried to do me a solid and say I was hacked. But the reality is I was getting it in and somehow hit the button, because all you had was audio, because the camera, the phone, I threw the phone on the bed and the phone is looking up at the ceiling. So, he's just.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
Have you ever went on Instagram Live?
I have not.
There's 25 buttons you must push in order to be on Instagram Live. So hit Instagram on the phone, you have to scroll over 3 times. You have to press start Instagram Live. You got to put the title. You got to pick the filter. You got to put some other stuff in it. And it says, okay, are you ready to go live? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're live. Just a minute. We're connecting you to your audience. Okay, hold on. Just a minute. We're connecting. Your followers are now connecting. I don't.
He says he's never been on live. Maybe Michelle, who the
I feel like it was Michelle. Either he staged it. I don't
and whatever. But the audio that we did get, you got the growls and the dominant submissive, the dominant language. It's quite titillating for us older gals.
It could be if it was anybody else. It probably would have been titillating to me as well, but it was not. It was not.
And be a good girl. So the thing about it is, in my book 3, I'm working on. It kind of gave me like, okay, let's go and finish this out, because like I said, we said earlier, I write romance suspense novels, and in this particular novel, the main character is going to be a little dominant. So it kind of
your research.
Little research purposes and say, okay, let's go and get this finished. Of language. So
this is literary. What is this? You're the literary resident literary expert,
right? So to speak. So in writing, I've just been titillated by the language. Not necessarily that was him, because it wasn't on my list either.
I just don't. I had no interest in even hearing it. I think the only thing I really do thinking back, the only way that I heard it was a parody from Not Carlton Banks on Instagram. Like he parodied it like 30 minutes later. He had the phone up and he had mocked the whole entire hilarious. Sounds just like
They said Cat Williams called him and said, "You ain't gay today." The phrase is relax your legs, submit to me, and so it was a little not sing. As long as I don't see it, I'm stuttering. As long as it was just the language, and in the moment for me, it wasn't.
If you're listening to this podcast and you don't see my face, just imagine that I've seen.
She's deadpan. She's like, oh, ew. The Big Barney comparisons notwithstanding, but
it's all of it. I hear and I'm observant, so I hear things that are said and I hear things that are not said. And I've seen several instances with him that I have lots of questions. I'm not questioning anything about. I'm just saying, it's not for me to even imagine. It's not on my list. I don't care about the body. I don't care about the big country accent.
Right.
There's nothing there.
I get it. I do. I really do. But the merch part, I think that's a sort of, I'm gonna make money with it.
I think he took it down. I think people was trashing him so bad he took it down.
What was on it? I never saw the merch.
My Michelle. It was just stupid t-shirts. Oh. My Michelle. I don't know what it was. It was a couple other sayings that he took from.
Now, if he had put relax your legs and submit to me, I probably would have gotten it.
And your husband would have quickly burned it.
Yeah.
It would have quickly burned it.
Yeah, probably put me outside. But
yeah. Got a spare bedroom down here.
And likes it, we probably would have. But just to say, oh my God. But I think the merch part took it a little, like you could have let it die and you kind of wanted to capitalize off it because
you don't need no money. Like, for what? No.
You made enough money on January 2nd to last you. You made enough money on January 2nd to last you for a good 2 years.
Yeah. When ESPN said it was an accident, we're not gonna fire him. Yeah, and just put it to bed. Like, but you still,
and they still talking about it.
Because I think those rumors bothered him so much.
Yeah.
Now, when he was once apologetic, he thought his contracts is on the line. Now he fine. Now it's like, oh, he beat my chest. People are solid. It's like a beat my chest movement kind of thing now. And I'm like, I don't respect you anymore.
Well, there's something to be said about the virility of it, right? And to be 50, what is he, 56, 57, somewhere in there, to then have to let people know that I'm not only am I active, but he was like, that's just a moment. Like, we were in there for I was about 30, 45 minutes. Again,
you telling on yourself. So this was like sessions.
Right.
Who is sitting on the side of the bed scrolling through Instagram?
Yeah.
Which one of y'all was sitting on the side of the bed scrolling?
I think it had to be. We don't know who the Michelle is. They've tried to find out who the Michelle is. He said he'll take it to his grave.
I wouldn't want to be known.
He said he'll take that to his grave. He promised her that would never be revealed. But she also knew what kind of man he was when she came over there. So
yeah, I mean,
that's what he said.
Yeah, it's all kind of aunties that aunties and unks, you gotta get it in.
Yeah.
He is firmly on the unk side for me.
He's a great unk.
Man, if they just had the conversation on the breakfast, if somebody I think that was a Dion Cole. If anybody refer to you as Mr. or Unk, sir, you don't have a chance with nobody younger than you. Don't try it. We've already placed you in that category. You cannot come out of the unk. It's disgusting.
He is Mr. Sharp.
Yeah, he's definitely an unk to me.
So the unk, unlike I don't like the auntie kind of thing, because for me, even uncle or auntie is kind of, again, my intellectual side in that whole
Yeah.
uncle from slavery. Like, I never liked it. It just, you can call me aunt if you're related to me, but if you, or TT, but even that, right? I didn't grow up calling my aunts TT. They were either aunt, they were aunt, right? But it's a new thing for me. Okay, love it.
Yeah.
But that sort of rich auntie, it just kind of, which I'm not, with it just kind of it, to me, it has too many vestiges in slavery. It's the reason I wouldn't even purchase Aunt Jemima pancake mix or syrup. I always bought Mrs. Butterworth. Now I don't care if you change the name or not, we're still not gonna do it.
I get it. I think for us, it's a reverence thing. Like, it's not, you're not like a friend, but you cool.
Mhm.
But we gonna respect you as like wisdom. You're older, you're not like old for us to be calling you miss. But
Right.
that's kind of where I see it. But as I'm becoming older and going back to homecoming, I did not go to my homecoming last year, but my line sisters did, and they said that we are firmly in the auntie category, to where people was checking on them.
You okay, Miss Erin? You need us to fix you a plate? See, that's when you know you've entered another sphere.
Yep.
Life. Okay. See, that was tame.
It was good. I'm just saying.
She's been worried about me out. She's been worried about me for 2 years.
No. I'm just saying, you got to hold down this conversation, because I can't. There's nothing I can contribute other than disgust. Our, and I say our loosely, I will use a different art. The former First Lady Melania Trump passionately defends abortion rights in her upcoming memoir, creatively, innovatively titled Melania. Today, one of the quotes came out. I've carried this belief with me throughout my entire adult life. She wrote in the memoir, she believes that everybody should have autonomy of their own body and make their own choices. Why is this news?
Because her husband is running and proud to say that he got rid of Roe versus Wade. They've been doing it for 50 years, and I got it done. It was very, very hard, but I got it done.
The people wanted. I just gave them what they wanted.
The people didn't want it. Okay, all right. So if the papers are drawn up and at the lawyer's office was a person, that's a saying this close to the election. She's making it very clear, I don't support him on this issue, which means she's doing what? Preparing for a life after this. Because
I'm not going to read the book, but where does this come in the memoir about my life?
When he was making the grand pronouncements, were you not able to have a conversation with him and say, I am against this?
Unless it's the book about her political ideas versus her husband.
I think it's going to be, there'll be a significant portion and section about her life in the White House and some of the things. Because remember, her platform was anti-bullying. But you're married to a bully.
I didn't know she had a platform.
She did. In my early, this was when I was like, he had done something. He had bullied somebody. And I was like, I literally tweeted her, like, is this what you meant? Tell your man to do better. Like, tell your man to do better. Like, for real. And it's very clear when you make that kind of stand and you make a video. It's not just in the book. It's not, you're not doing the talk show circuit. You made a damn commercial. You made a commercial, right? About women's rights and a woman's right to choose what happens to her body in the midst of your husband campaigning on the fact that he got rid of a woman's right to choose in Roe versus Wade. That is a line in the sand, and that is preparing for a life after. So on November 6th, the morning of, I will not be surprised if she doesn't file the paperwork.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be there in the first place. She don't want to be there now.
No, I'm pretty sure the marriage is a no contact sport. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me.
We're going to get this boy through school.
Who is we? Because I don't even think they live together.
Oh, I don't think they do either. I think she lives in New York and he lives wherever in Florida. But even if they are keeping up those appearances, this was significant. A significant line in the sand.
Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful that she will have a life after this. And maybe when she goes into the voting booth, she'll vote right instead of for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, both he and his running mate are married to
immigrants.
And yet we got to keep even lawful people who entered through the program and lawful, like the Haitians in Ohio.
Not the right kind of immigrant. It's the wrong, it's a specific shade of immigrant.
The way you're talking and speaking about people who are not born in this country or who are not white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, like the way you're talking about them, you're talking about the very people in your household. You're talking about your children. And so that, I think, when she draws this line, and that is a line. Not only did you just put it, you could have just put it in the book and talked about other aspects. You made a whole video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a commercial. You made a whole commercial. So
yeah.
Let's wait on November 6th.
So I don't even know how to segue this. Okay. Marriages that are no contact sport that are pretty much over. Offset and Cardi B have been separated, but I just want them to go about their business. Yeah. But they had a really she was on Instagram Live. She accused her estranged husband of blowing up her phone, trying to make her jealous over him moving on from her. According to screen recordings shared on social media, the rapper said she regrets her relationship with him. Which I think that's in the height of the moment. I don't think she does.
I think so. I think that is always in the height of the moment. I think when two people are married and they're having marital discord, you have to also be mindful that you chose to have 3 children. You chose to have children. But even in a relationship that does not result in children or that kind of thing, you always have to understand the blessing of whatever it is that you learned in that moment. Yeah. What did you learn? And that's what I also would caution, though, if you when someone like a Cardi B or anyone, when you have children, that you love your children more than you dislike or hate their father or their mother. Because at the end of the day, if you're talking about their parent, their other parent, that means that you're also talking about them. And they internalize that you selected somebody who was X, Y, and Z. And so any of that means that that's half of who they are. So I think that was in the heat of the moment, but I think we all need to caution ourselves about that.
Yeah.
Now he made the mistake of forgetting who his wife actually is and who she has always been. Cardi B, like it or not, has always been as transparent as she could be all the time. It's even when she started and got her first check and she looking at the stub and she was like, what is this thing called taxes? And she trying to figure out.
I've always loved Cardi
right? You have. And when she was like, oh, loud, brash, oh my God.
No, I've always, she's one part. If you're going to be I want you to be authentically who you are. And I want to see you grow and still be authentically who you are.
Right.
And I've seen her grow. She still has to grow some more. She's still young, but I think she's always been who she's always like. Now this is very different than Sexy Red. I can't really tell you right now the difference. It's very different.
Very different.
I don't know, but Cardi, if you listen to her, she's always been very intelligent. If you listen to her, probably not popular interviews, she's always said, I've been a fan of history. Going to community college, she had tons of history courses. She can talk to you about the government. Like she's intelligent.
Right.
At her core. And I think that's what I love about her. Of how she kind of thinks. That's why we don't have any music. I think she overthinks about her music a lot. She's overly critical. I don't know. I just like I've always liked Cardi. So I've always been
you have until and I didn't know who she was till she hit Love and Hip Hop, New York. But I've really grown to appreciate stylistically the maturity, the sort of homespun, like who she is at home is totally different. But you don't hurt a woman as many times as Offset has not just hurt her, but made it public. It's been public. See, y'all will never know if mine hurt me.
Yeah.
He has been public. And she stood in that humiliation.
She did.
She stood in that humiliation trying to make this work for not one, not two, but now 3 children. But I think in that third pregnancy, when you gonna keep it, right? And for him,
well, I think it was she didn't find out till she was like 13 weeks.
Right.
She didn't know. I truly think that if she found out earlier. Huh?
Did he mention somewhere in that he was trying to keep her pregnant? Like he was.
I haven't heard it, but it doesn't surprise me if he did.
Because it sounds, if you're going to love a woman and say that this is your wife, you married her. You could have baby mamaed her, but you married her. You knew who she was. She literally, all of those things.
But you know what? Speaking of baby mamaed her, I lost the most respect for him when he tried to be like, see, not look at you, not I won, you my baby mama now. That's
reproductive abuse.
And that when I read that, I was like, yeah, I ain't got I'll have that for you, sir.
That is reproductive abuse.
And to look at the timing of she got pregnant before her first album dropped. She was trying to hold it together, suck it in. And then she tried to get the second album out. The little boy came along. She's still trying to get the second album out.
It's reproductive abuse.
And every time it came after she took him back.
Right. That's what this is. And very clearly, when he jumped in there and into that IG live, the infamous IG live, and said something about her having sex, while she was pregnant, having sex with another man. She said, and did. Now, there is a moment in everyone's life where the trigger is snapped. We're ready to go. It's been pulled. That's it. You jumped in that live knowing what he had done. And he thought that little girl, that naive girl trying to get in the industry, getting a little traction, was the same person. She 3 babies in now, boo. You have all that sweet gone. When is Cardi B's birthday? Let's see. When is Cardi B's birthday?
I don't even have no concept of a month.
Let me see. I could tell you. October 11th. Is that Libra season?
I only know mine.
You only know yours?
I only know mine.
Yep, that's a Libra. When they done, they done.
Yeah. And I don't know what you thought that was.
Care.
Yeah.
They don't care about, I could protect. But when you cross that line, they're done.
Yeah, I mean, her famous line from the reunion is, "If we beefing, we gonna beef forever." Can't say it like her, but we
Yep.
beefing forever.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what he thought that line was gonna do to her or to her reputation, but everybody was like, "Well, good for her. It's probably best time to get it."
It is, because you don't have, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think it's a cautionary tale for men who are reproductive abusers, who are chronic and humiliators of their women, and whatever. I think there's he won't do it again. You know, Offset is, they're not calling him Upset,
Yeah, he needs to just go somewhere.
because I mean she could have gone lower than that. And Did was kind. It was kind. She didn't go into it was better than you. She didn't go into, I ain't have to tell him what, she didn't go into anything that would have truly dismantled him. So he's not having a good year. Cat has opened the portal. You go from Chris Brown telling you, we wish it was you instead. But even in the midst of that, even in the midst of she was still with you in the midst of that grief. She was with you and supported you, and they were on the outs then.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all got back together. You were supposed to be doing it. You got all those children before her. She gave you 3, and you still couldn't. And one day he's gonna be like Ocho was on the podcast with Sharp. And I will agree with this, when the 80-20 rule, and Ocho sitting up there crying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you're gonna realize that all of that out there doesn't matter. It's not worth what you've lost. It's not worth the ego boost that you get from somebody out there in the world.
And I mean, maybe I'm not the age group, but it's just like, what's out there?
Nothing.
And but also to me, I'm like, it's just Offset. Like I don't even know what. Yeah, it's just Offset. He wanted amigos. I can't understand him. What you say?
What's happening? All of that. You're not who they pump you up to be out there in that house, in that world.
No, he was better with Cardi. His value was with Cardi.
Mm-hmm. And her value gonna skyrocket with that.
Mm-hmm. She was always by herself. She didn't need him.
But the happiness she felt when she was able to buy her mother a home.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of things, and the values. Yeah, does she spend a little bit too much money probably on Kitty Birkin bags? Probably. But it's her money to spend.
But I mean, at least it's an investment. She not going
investment. Even now, vintage one is like, you know, still it's full retail price for a vintage one.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing, you know, the fact that he tried to embarrass her on the live about her sexual activity with someone else. Negro, please. She wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have been a pregnant woman who is tired, and she about to have your third child, and you still can't stay out them streets. Yeah, and did.
At least it was, because I'm pretty sure all his pieces are scallywags.
Oh my God.
There's no notable women in that list at all. I can't even see nobody else being like, oh, you know who called me? Like, no,
right.
Nobody else is excited about that. And again, we not of age, so maybe there is some young actor, rapper who would like that. I don't know.
He put it this way. I wouldn't risk nothing for him. I wouldn't risk nothing for him. I wouldn't know. And I know that is my age.
Yeah.
But there's no way, it's kind of like finding Jay-Z, when Jay-Z had cheated on Beyonce. It's like, who could you possibly? And that's an ego thing. That's an ego thing. It's when a woman has put a man through medical school, dental school, and then he runs off with someone else who's on his level, right? You did all these things, you get them, you boost them, because they want somebody who thinks that they did that all by themselves.
Yeah.
And that ego boost. And again, even though we said this was gonna be all pop culture, I mean, higher is the same way. It's the ego boost.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would rather, you'd rather risk it all on a sycophant,
a name brand,
than come with someone who really has your best interest at heart and the best interest of the institution. We see it time and time again. It's no different with people. But in this case, you had she was your brand, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she was by herself. You in a group. And you got one of them. Oh, you got one of them. Okay.
Yeah. I was going to go there. Let's not.
I'm sorry. She says I can't do it, folks. She said I can't go there. But yeah, but he did it. Okay, go ahead. Allegedly. Everything on this podcast is allegedly.
And to that effect, DDG, we didn't put it on there. DDG and Haley this morning announced that they were, he announced that they were not together. Everybody's celebrating because we all know that she was the brand name in that relationship. And we were just happy when she was happy. And if she's not happy, we're not happy.
Well, I do more in that in a sense, because I saw a few of his videos on TikTok, and most of his stuff was with his little boy, with Halo, and he's a good dad. So as long as I hope that they can co-parent well. Maybe this is just a blip. I hate to sound like it, but you young people, you get mad, you have an argument, and then you want to uncouple. Like,
I think they secretly uncoupled in the past.
Okay, so I mean, your baby just not walking. Just y'all going into your respective corners, but see, it's just too easy. But you young people, you can't just have a fight and say it's over. Yeah, just don't talk to him for about a week and then come back. Like, but he, at the end of the day, even from the little bit that I saw, I think, as long as they can co-parent well, I don't want to have another. I don't think he would be like this. Kind of brings me back to the Cam Newton interview, when that girl ripped him for filth. That he's allowed, in the fullness of himself, to be the father he appears to be on TikTok.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're sensible. I think she's sensible.
Right.
And lastly, our last story is sad. I don't know. It was either transition from Melania from Diddy. Wait, what was the story before this?
Oh, Jesus.
From Shannon Sharp to this story are saved or in the podcast on the sadder note. It was a lose-lose situation, folks. So here
we are.
John Amos, longtime publicist, reveals actor's final wish was to delay the death announcement. If you knew, I think this was 3 days ago. It was publicly announced October 1st. And then I saw corrections that it was accidentally said that he died August 21st. I thought it was a mistake or something. But he really did pass away on August 21st. Mm-hmm. The daughter found out with the rest of the world on October 1st. And the actor's son handled all the arrangements. He's cremated. So the daughter posted that she was heartbroken before. I don't know if we talked about it here, but before she said that there were claims of elder abuse. Her brother wouldn't let her see her dad. And, they went on Instagram Live, the son and Mr. Amos, and said that everything was fine, he was fine, and he was coherent, and there's no abuse and all of that. That kind of passed away. But then now it's kind of brought back up with this weird occurrence.
Well, I think what he may have said, I don't want the firestorm. I don't know what he said in that moment. Even this, it's one of the biggest fears that I have. That since my father is married, that something will happen to him and I won't know until it's over. Now I will tell you that if that ever happened to me, I would dig him up with my hands, and then we're gonna have a new funeral, and I'm gonna have him checked out. But that has always, with wife number 2 and wife number 3, that has always been a real fear for me, like a crippling fear, that I would never know. I do think that even if John Amos said that, and sometimes we say things sort of in an offhand kind of way, and people, because it suits their needs or their wants, that they take it and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, in the final moments, and having been there with someone to say goodbye, that I cannot imagine him not wanting his child there, no matter all the other stuff. You know, I can see him say, "Don't tell her I'm gone because I don't want no firestorm," in a more lucid moment, and you taking that and holding on to it. When at the end of the day, I cannot believe that someone doesn't want their child there. And then if that were the true case, as they say it is, I could not dislike or hate my sister enough that I wouldn't give her a heads up that this announcement was coming. I could not, because if he didn't want a firestorm surrounding it and she was going to make it a big deal, it will forever be a big deal now.
Yeah.
It will ever be whatever really happened, what really happened to John Amos. It's going to be a fight between the two of them. He was cremated, so there's no autopsy, even though it says congestive heart failure on the death certificate. All of this lends itself to a greater firestorm. And again, my greatest fear in life. And so, and I wouldn't want that for anyone.
That's horrible. No closure. She didn't get closure on, even if it wasn't true, she didn't get closure on it.
Because there was never a moment even for him to say, "You all, there are only 2 of you.
Yeah, get together. I ain't gonna be here for much longer.
Right.
I need y'all to
let it go." She and the rest of that family will never be able to let this go.
Yeah.
They'll never be able to let this go.
So whether it happened on August 22nd or October 1, like, she's still back to, hey, I want to investigate this. I think
What
he
happened
may
to
have done something to the will. Yeah. So
I know my father loved me. Why wasn't I told? Why couldn't I come see him? And and there are people who do this, not just there are people who do this, and I can't understand. And I suppose it's because of who my mother was as a human being. And she always loved me more than she did not love my father, or did not like my father at the time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and I asked her once, I said, "Why you didn't tell your sisters? Why you didn't tell your mama all the stuff, all the things?" She said, "Because he was your father."
Yeah.
They loved him.
Yeah.
The fact my mom, I'm telling you, Olivia Jones' love was salt of the earth. She let him have the back guest room so that when he came to town, I could have all the time with him that I needed. Like, boggles the mind at this point, right? But I appreciate that so much. When she said, and I told him this recently, I said, she never told anybody. Child support, none of that. She never told anybody, because she loved me more than she wanted them to dislike you. And you were my father. This girl Shannon Amos, I feel for her in that way. Whatever the issues were, what I saw were two children who loved their father but hated each other more.
Yeah.
And when it's just the two of you and that you weren't able to come together, and now they will never. They will never.
I just don't believe this, even though it's coming from the publicist. This doesn't make sense, because if you wanted to quell the rumors that I did something to him, that he was this, come see him. If he was in the hospital, come see him hooked up, come hear from the nurses, come talk to him yourself. Now we can fight over the will. That's a different thing. Right. But for you to like wrap this up and say, I don't want the death to be a firestorm, you gave her more ammunition with this than coming to say, hey, daddy's in the hospital, he's not doing well, he might only have hours, come see him, say your goodbyes, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That would have quelled all the things that now she got to make up in her mind, because she's never had the closure.
Yeah. And so and here's the thing, these are not half siblings.
They're acting like
they hold, you know what I'm saying? So, and not that I would, that matters. I mean, my sister's my sister, right? But y'all grew up in the same house. You got the same daddy. And so if he went off at a moment of lucidity and said, don't tell her, and blah, 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 she acting up, and you held on to that knowing good and well that that's still your sister.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine being that cruel and not allowing my sister, even if it was the moment before, just to see him, so she could see that he was okay in that sense, in his transition.
Yeah, and say goodbye. Yeah.
When you don't have that kind of, and I caution anyone, it is a beautiful moment to watch someone cry their last tear.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about that. It's a beautiful moment. But it's also like I had to make the call, you need to come down here now. You need to say goodbye, or you need to wake up. You need to. It's time. I could not see myself being that cruel. I just can't. Can't. Now I didn't encounter some who would do it. I don't want, but I see them differently. As human beings, because
Yeah. Well,
my condolences to the family. My heart goes out to them.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to add somebody else to the list. Professor McGonagall. Somebody else we need to have in the memorial.
Yes.
As well as I forgot her character on Sister Act. All of them.
Oh, yes, Sister Act, Harry Potter, Downton Abbey, all of the people who have followed her career, generations of people. I love that about an actor's career, generations,
cross cultures.
Yes, yes. There was a young Black creator on TikTok who was doing a memorial, and it was so sweet and beautiful, and the way he was doing it, like he was Harry, and she brought me the Nimbus 3000. It was cross-cultural, whether it was race or across the water, we were all of those things. And she has a legacy. John, I got to go back to John. John's legacy to be tainted in this way, because he was for a lot of people. He was the first Black father on TV.
Yeah, he owned McDowell's. He was the father-in-law.
Yes, but do you realize? And I don't want to take away from Maggie Smith. I love her work, but I just have to go back to that, because I really wanted to be said that John Amos was the first Black father on television. And had Esther Roll not said, I won't do the show, she risked her own job, I won't do the show unless I have a father for my children.
Yeah. 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 I hate that this is recovering this and not that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then back to the great Megan Smith. I love her, and I will be watching. You know, I even just put on Harry Potter. Just
Oh yeah, that's one of my comfort shows. I watch things over and over. One, because I'm probably not paying attention to TV, and two, I
Right.
already know what's going to happen. So
Listen, I was
it's
in
a comfort.
with Professor McGonagall when she turned into the cat. That was it for me, as also a former cat lady.
Leave him with these people.
Yes, I love her. I love her. We've lost so many in the last few.
Yeah,
years.
the rapture.
Close the portal, cat.
But okay. In the same vein, she was 88.
Yes, yes.
John was around that same age.
Around that same age. I think he was 83.
Mufasa, King,
90, 92, 93.
I like that's a life well lived.
Yeah.
No scandal, good work.
Yeah.
We not talking about no indictments.
Right.
Your work gonna live on. We ain't gotta take it off of streaming. We ain't gotta sneak and watch it and listen to it.
Right. Right. I think for me particularly, it moves me close. Like I'm on deck. Like what Eddie Murphy saying, life. Like we on deck. I'm on deck.
Yeah.
And part of my childhood, which each of them goes away.
Yeah.
And because you have film, James Earl Jones is always going to be.
He's always going to be king. Like he's preserved. Like
Right.
Sister Tyson is preserved.
You know, and the fact that, and I think for Sister Tyson kind of really struck me when she passed. You know, I knew she was getting older, right? We all knew that because she'd been playing an old woman since she was 20.
Yeah.
And so in our mind, like even as she was getting older, she's playing her own age, but she's been playing that age since she was 20, so she's never gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, she won't die.
I mean, she said she was shocked when she wake up every morning. She said that. She was like, well, I just like wake up every morning.
But I think it's just it allows when our lions fall, it allows us to think about our own mortality.
Yeah. But she did it like it was so iconic. Like if I have a way to peace out, she wrote her own story.
Yep.
She went and she publicized her own book, and she was like, God,
I'm good. I'm ready. I've done it all.
Take me up. Take me up.
I mean, I think that's how we all want to go, and that's why it makes the John Amos death so tragic. At the same time that we can celebrate Maggie Smith because we don't have that. We can celebrate her.
People protect you didn't protect your dad's legacy over foolishness.
Right. Exactly. And that's that's hard. But my a few other friends of mine, I was like, you like these, they be 80. Like you're not supposed to mourn. Yes, you mourn. Yeah. I mean, we want our friends or whether the people, what does that mean when only the kids are left on good times? Only Thelma, JJ, Michael, and Janet are left.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the same way of Harry Potter. I think everybody, all of the teachers
are gone.
Yeah.
They're on deck. Like
except
so
for the groundskeeper.
Yep.
Except for the groundskeeper and
Voldemort is the only one still living.
Voldemort and what's the giant?
He's gone. Hagrid is gone.
Hagrid died?
Hagrid died.
Okay. I'm thinking about the other older man who played on Game of Thrones too. The janitor.
Oh, okay. He might be still.
He's Walter Frey. Yeah, Walter Frey.
Oh, don't get me started on Game of Thrones. But it just means that we're getting older. We're taking over. We're becoming the elders. We're becoming the misters and the ma'ams and the miss and the Miss Aaron's and the Miss Candice and all of that. It's like, oh, I'm not. So and at my church, there's a new ministry, and I realized, oh, they're for the young people. I'm not young enough. My age group wasn't called out, and I realized, oh, in that anymore. It's a moment. It is a moment. It's a moment of mortality.
Yeah. Like that. Like that meme, they was like, "Oh, now we the people that be falling out at church."
You're and for real, and be for real.
We gotta come up with a laugh scar. People.
I first joined my mission circle at church, and so my friend said, "Wait a minute, you going to mission meeting? My grandmama went to mission meeting." I said, "Girl, we are the grandmamas at the mission meeting." She said, "Lord," but she got one, and I did too. I said, "We on deck."
Yeah, just make it look good. Just make it look good.
But I didn't realize how young my mother was. How young my classmates' mothers were when we were all coming up. And how young they were, because for us they were mom and all of that. And so now you realize,
my mama had me at 26, and I was like,
mine too.
Me with 2 kids at 26.
Girl,
it happened. I was still.
You were walking across the stage getting your PhD at 26.
Yeah, and still just very much outside. It's a great time to be alive.
I really do take I take the celebrity deaths that matter to me very seriously. Like, because it is my childhood. It is.
Yeah.
And as my father has, 3 degrees, college professor, businessman, all of that. And I mean this in all love. He wasn't James Evans though.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of attachment, even when James Avery died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was one of those, he was the only father figure that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have James, you wouldn't have a Heathcliff, you wouldn't have any of that without James Evans.
Yeah, true.
You wouldn't have Carl Winslow. You wouldn't have any of them without James.
Yeah.
But yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah. I hope that the reporting of an in memoriam section of the podcast is not going to be a regular, but we did lose a lot.
We have lost a lot, and just waiting on Cat to close the portal, and we want him to do that soon. I just hope that he's already on deck for January 2nd, 2025 of the Club Shay Shay.
I think there's some clips of his new comedy specials out where he's talking about Diddy and stuff. Haven't listened to them yet because I wasn't in a place to listen, but I'm definitely going to view, and maybe we can put that on our calendar to go see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta do it. Do it.
Well, thank you for joining us for this special all pop culture We Outside edition of Allegedly Higher. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube at Allegedly Higher. Let us know what topics you want to cover. Next time, we'll definitely be talking about the conservative movement in higher education. And also we'll be talking about the retention and recruitment of Black men in higher education. Two very different sides of a coin.
Yes.
We diverse over here. So that'll be episode 14. And hope you come back to join us. Leave us a comment, like, share, subscribe, so we can start building up our team, so you can start getting more consistent episodes with us being the producers and the editors and the social media managers over here. So we be, a little bit more consistent. get you an episode every week.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Save lives.
Yeah. Let us know what you're thinking. Share, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms, especially on wherever you're listening and watching this. And thank you so much for giving us a little moment of your time. Love everybody, especially what we're seeing today. Make some things right. Think about the important things in life, and stay safe out there.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks for listening. This episode was sponsored by Holistic Higher Ed Solutions, committed to enhancing student success. From coaching to planning, our practitioners empower institutions. Ready to transform? Visit holisticheredsolutions.com and let's revolutionize higher ed together. Be sure to subscribe, review, and join us next time.